Part 1. Introduction to South Korea. South Korea, a land where ancient palaces rise beside the futuristic skyline, and with deep-rooted tradition coexists with one of the most advanced technology society on earth. It is a country of striking contrast, mountain and major cities. Quiet temple is non-lived street, centuries years old culture and rapid modern innovation. Despite its relative small size, South Korea is remarkably diverse, from the dense urban energy of Seoul to the volcanic beauty of Jeju Island, from the historic charm of Gyeong to the rugged peak of the Taipei Mountain. Every region reveals a different side of the nation. Each place feels like a world of its own, shaped by geography, history, and culture. South Korea is also a country defined by resilience. Its history stretches back to the Asian kingdom, dynastic era, invasions, and colonization and division. It's just a few generations. It has undergone one of the fastest transformations in modern history, emerging from hardship into a global economic and cultural powerhouse. Yet, through all of its change, it's maintained a strong and distinct identity, preserved a language, a culture, cuisine, and tradition. Today, South Korea stands as a crossroad of heritage and innovation. Cities like Seoul reflect these balances vividly, where century-old palaces such as Gyeongbokgung sit only a short distance from the glass skyscraper, digital billboard, and cutting-edge technology hub. The past and future not separate here; they exist side by side in daily life. Geographically, the country is largest mountain nearby, with nearly 70% of its land covered by range and hill. River flow through the fertile valley. Densest forests fill Nation Park. A long coastline open into the surrounding East Seas. Each season reshape the landscape dramatically. Cherries blossom in spring, humid and vibrant in summer, golden autumn foliage, and snowy winter that transform the country into quiet, white world. But beyond its landscape, South Korea true essence lies in the rhythm, the balance between tradition and modern life. A modern prayer and Buddhist temple can be followed by afternoon and high-tech shopping district. Street market continue to serve, receive, pass it down to generation, while nearby screen display a latest global trends in real time. Across the Asian kingdom and modern city, across the scary mountain, coastal village, and the bustling urban center, from Seoul to Busan, from Jeju to Gyeongju, South Korea unfolds as a story of contrast, continuity, and transformation. A country that moves forward at incredible speed, yet never lets go of its past. 2. Seoul. Seoul, the capital of South Korea and one of the most advanced and influential cities in the world. It is a place where centuries of history, cutting-edge innovation exist side by side, creating a unique urban identity that feels both Asian and futuristic at the same time. At the heart of the city stands the Gyeongbokgung Palace, the largest of 5 grand palaces built during the Joseon dynasty. One of the seat of royal power, it remains one of the most important cultural landmarks in Korea. Here, visitors can still witness tradition without changing, share memories, and where performers in historical uniform create the narrative of the day back hundreds of years. The place round, with their elegant architecture and the scene of contrast, offer a glimpse into Korean royal past, preserved within a modern cityscape. Yet, just beyond this palace wall, still transformed into something entirely different. Towering skyscraper define the skyline, LED screen illuminate an entire district, and high-speed technology shape everyday life. Areas like Gangnam represents the modern face of Korea, wealthy, dynamic, and deeply connected to global trends in business, fashion, and entertainment. The contrast between old and new, not hidden here, is fully visible, often within the same view. Following through the center of the city is Han River, a vital national landmark that divides Seoul into the northern and southern region. Historically, the northern side developed around the royal and the administration center, while the southern side expanded rapidly during the Korean modern economic boom. Today, the river serves as the both geographical boundary and cultural gathering space. Park, cycling path, and the public area line its bank, offering residents a place to relax, exercise, and escape intensity of urban life. At night, the Han River becomes a stunning visual centerpiece, reflecting the glow of rise, skyscraper, and city lights across its calm surface. Seoul is one of the Asian great cultural capital. Traditional markets such as Gangneung Market continue to thrive, offering street food, handmade food, and local flavor that have been passed down through generations. At the same time, modern districts like Myeongdong and Dongdaeum showcase cutting-edge fashion, cosmetic, and global retail trends. This coexistence of tradition and modernity define everyday life in the city. Music, technology, and pop culture also shape Seoul's global identity. From K-pop studio and entertainment companies to digital innovation hub and startup and ecosystem, the city is constantly evolving in fueling Seoul's global culture. Yet, despite the fast pace of environment, Seoul still preserves quiet space. High temperature between the building, peaceful mark along the river, and a nearby mountain that offer hiking trail just a minute from urban core. Seoul is more than just capital city. It is a living, breathing symbol of South Korea. Transformation, a place in where past is not forgotten but the woven seamlessly into the fabric of the future. Busan, a coastal city where mountains meet the sea, and everyday life shaped by the rhythm of the wave, wind, and tidal. A South Korea's second largest city, Busan offered a completely different atmosphere compared to Seoul. While the capital is fast, dense, and vertical, Busan feel more open, grounded, and naturally connected to the ocean. From the moment you arrive, the presence of the sea will unmistakable. The air carries a solid freshness. Fishing boats move steady in the out and harbor. A coastal road stretches along dramatic shoreline. Busan is not just a city by the sea. It is a city built with the sea as an identity. One of the most famous landmarks in the Haren Beach, known across the Asian, it is urban beach that blend naturally beauty with modern city life. During the summer, Haren become a vibrant hub of the activity. Families gather under the colorful umbrellas, stretching, performing entertaining crowd and the festival light up the shoreline at night. The contrast between the calm ocean wave and the energy of thousands of visitors create a unique atmosphere that feels both relaxing and alive at the same time. Beyond the beach, Busan reveals another side of the personality, top it hill but the neighborhood. One of the most iconic places in Gamcheon's cultural village, built on steep slope overlooking the city. It is a maze of narrow valleys, a stacked house, and a winding stairway. One of the modest resident area. It has been transformed into a vibrant aesthetic district, brightly painting poem, mural on every corner, a smart art installation turn entire village into the open air gallery. Every turn feels different. Every way pathway lead to unexpected view of color, creativity, and coastal energy. Busan identity is also deeply tied to the ocean through the industry food culture. At Yegachi's fish market, the largest seafood market in South Korea, life begins early each morning. Fishermen bring in their fresh catches directly from the sea. Octopus, crab, fish of oversized and shape. Inside the market, the sound of bargaining, shopping, and water flowing create a live breathing that reflects the city's closest relationship with the ocean. Visitors can choose the seafood straight from the tanks and have it prepared on the spot, experiencing the freshness that defines Busan colony culture. But Busan is not only the market and beaches, it is also a city visitor camp and nature beauty. Hanjeong and Gyeonggyong's temple, one of the most unique temples in Korea, is dramatically located in a cliff overlooking an open sea. Unlike the most temples that hiding in the mountain, this one faces wave directly. The sound of crashing water, the sight of stone lantern along the coastline, and the sunrise over the ocean create a deeply peaceful and almost cinematic experience. It is a place where nature and spirituality blend seamlessly, offering a visitor a moment of reflection and silence. The city Jeju adds into the distinct character. Surrounded by mountain and open water, Busan is shaped by both elevation and horizon. Hiking trail with through the wind hill, offering panoramic view in the coastline and urban skyline. From this height, the cities look like a living painting, coastal and of the beauty, bright stretching across bay, and the ship moving slowly across the sea. As nightfall, Busan transformed once again. The skyline light up, reflecting across the harbor water, bright glow with color, fishing boat leaf trail of light, and coastal highway shimmered under street lamp. Unlike the intense neon energy of Seoul, Busan nighttime beauty feels softer and more reflective, shaped by its connection to nature rather pure density. The pace of life here is notably by different. Its morning often begin with sound of waves rather than traffic. People walk along the beach before work. Fishermen prepare their boats, and small cafes open their door facing the sea breeze. Even its busiest district, Busan retains a sense of openness and breathing space that rare large in city. Busan is also a city festival and cultural gathering. Film event, firework festival, and beach celebration bring people together throughout the year. The moment highlights the city's ability to merge modern entertainment and the nature coastal setting. The oceans become stage, the beaches become Venice, and the skyline become the part of the performance. Ultimately, Busan is more than a part of the city a tourist destination. It is a living cultural ecosystem where human life and nature forests coexist. A place where mountains embrace the neighborhood, where the sea defines the culture, and where every street increases the influence of tide. Busan moves differently from Seoul. It's not a rush, it's flow. Part 4. Jeju Island, a volcanic paradise located to south of the Korean peninsula, where the nature feels more powerful, raw, and untouched than almost anywhere else in South Korea. Shaped by ancient eruption and surrounded by deep blue ocean, Jeju is a place where fire, wind, and water have worked together for thousands of years to creating a landscape unlike any other. At the heart of the island stand Hanus Mountain and domed volcano and highest peak in Korea. Rising above the cloud, Hansen dominate the entire island. The presence is visible from nearly every direction. The mountain is surrounded by protected forests, winding hiking trails, and seasoning ecosystem that change dramatically throughout the years. In spring, windflower blossom across its slope. In summer, dense rays cover the trail. Autumn brings warm golden tunes, while winter transforms summer into quiet, snow-covered world. Hiking Hansen is not just a physical journey. Path the patches through the multiple nature worlds, stacked vertical, and climate vegetation. Extended outward from the mountain, Jeju coastline revealed on another layer of its beauty. The island is surrounded by dramatic basalt cliffs formed from ancient volcanic lava, clothed and hardened over time. These cliffs rise sharply above the sea, creating powerful contrast between black rock and bright ocean. Below them, waves crash continuously against the shore, carving patterns into a limestone hiding reef and covers. Unlike typical sandy coastal destination, Jeju shore feel more rugged and elemental, as if island is still being shaped by nature force today. Scattered along the coastline are bridges that shape a prison depending on the season and weather. Some are soft and white, while others carry the darker and volcano sand. In calm weather, the sea becomes mirror-like peaceful. During the storm, it transforms into a powerful and restless force. This conscious change in the part of the Jeju feel alive and unpredictable. One of the Iceland's most iconic landmarks is Seoul, also known as the Sunrise Peak. This volcanic crater was formed by the water eruption 1,000 years ago. Today, it rises dramatically from the scene-like nature forest, with steep green slope and a wide crater opening at its summit. The climb to the top is relatively short, but the view is unforgettable. As the sunrise, the first light of the day spread across the sea, illuminating the crater and surrounding coastline in the golden stone. It is one of the most photographic and spiritually symbolic location in Korea, represent both of power and nature of the passage of time. Beyond its geological wonder, Jeju is also home to a unique cultural identity that stretches apart from the mainland Korea. One of the most remarkable traditions in Hangul, female divers feel to free dive into the ocean, harvest seafoods without modern breathing equipment. These women often working well into older age, that dive repeatedly into cold water, collecting abalone, sea urchins, and other marine life. Their practice is not only a way of, but also a symbol of the resilience, independence, and harmony with the sea. The Hangul tradition has been passed down through the generation, representing a deep connection between people and nature that is increasingly rare in the modern world. Part 5. Gyeongju. Once the ancient capital of the powerful Seoul Kingdom, Gyeongju is often described as the museum without wall. Unlike cities where history confined to museum or preserved building, here the path is not separate from daily life. It is woven directly into the landscape itself. Every hill, every field, and every quiet street seems to carry echoes of a civilization that once shaped the foundation of a Korean culture. Walking through the Gyeongju feels like stepping into another era, instead of towering skyscraper or dense urban blocks. The city is marked by open space, gentle hill, and scarlet historical style that blend naturally with environment. One of the most distinctive features of the city is the ancient burial mounds, known as the royal tombs. The graces and the shaped hill rise across the landscape like natural formation. Yet they continue to remain of king nobles to Seoul dynasty. Some of them are seamlessly integrated into the surrounding that they resemble part of the terrain itself, quietly preserving centuries of history beneath their surface. Among Gyeongju's most important cultural landmark is Bungguksa Temple, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that represents the peak of the Buddhist art and architecture during the Seoul period. The temple complex is built with remarkable balance and harmony, featuring the wooden halls, stone terraces, and interactive pagodas that reflect both spiritual and artistical excellence. Every structure within Bagusa is carefully positioned within the surrounding mountain, creating a sense of unity between human craftsmanship and natural beauty. It is not simply a religious site, but a living testimony to Korea's historical devotion to Buddhism and architectural refinement. Not far, the Busan lies Securum Gotro, another UNESCO-listed treasure, hidden within a forested mountain path. This stone gallery houses a perfectly sculpted Buddha statue seated in the silent meditation. The grotto faces outward toward the valley and the distant sea, symbolizing spiritual protection over the land. The atmosphere inside is calm and almost otherworldly, with its soft lighting and precise stone construction that endured more than thousands of years. It remains one of the finest examples of Buddhist sculpture in East Asia, reflecting both technical mastery and deep spiritualization. What makes Gyeongju truly unique is not just the monument, but the way history blends into everyday life. Unlike the modern metropolitan area where ancient sites are isolated and protected, here they exist alongside residential neighborhood, open field, and quiet road. It's not unusual to see modern house near century tomb or walk past historical ruins on the way to local cafe. These coexist creature a rare sense of continuity, where the past and present are not in conflict but the conversation. The pace of life of Gyeongju is noticeably by slower comparisons to South Korea's largest city. Streets are calm, traffic is light, and the overall atmosphere feels peaceful and reflective. Visitors often find themselves moving more slowly as well, not because there is less to see, but because dynasty allow the historical character of the city emerge more clearly. Gyeongju is more than a collection of heritage sites. It is living a connection to Korea's earliest civilization, a place where the legacy of the Seoul Kingdom remains visible not behind the glass cage, but in the open air, under the sky, and across the land itself. Part 6. The Korean Delimited Zone. The narrow of the island stretching across the Korean peninsula, separating North Korea and South Korea. It is one of the most heavily fortified and closest monitored border in the world. A place defined by decades of political tension, historical division, and unresolved conflict. Established in 1953 after the Korean War Armistice, the DMZ was created as a buffer zone intended to reduce direct military confrontation between the two sides. Despite its name circumstances demilitarization space, it is in reality one of the most militarized borders in Earth. With guard posts, fence, surveillance system, and restricted access area positioned along both sides of the line, yet beyond the reputation as the symbol of the DMZ holds an unexpected striking contrast because human activity has been largest and restricted for decades. Large portions to one of the most zones have been left undisputed. Over time, nature has slowly reclaimed the land, forests have regrown, wetlands have formed, and wildlife has returned into surprising abundance. Species that are rare and endangered in other parts of the Korean peninsula have found refuge here, turning into the DMZ into an accidental agricultural sanctuary. In this sense, the zone represents not only separation, but is also quiet resilience of nature when left untouched. Within and around the DMZ, carefully controlled observation points allow limited public viewing across the border. From this location, visitors can see into North Korea, where landscape, village, and infrastructure appear distant yet visually real. Standing at this viewpoint creates powerful emotion contrasts. On one side, modern South Korea, on the other way, a very different reality shaped by decay and isolation. The silence of an area is the fire. This experiment making division between two Korea feel both physical and deeply symbolic. Several sites within the DMZ region is also serve as historical and educational space. Former infusion tunnel discovered beneath the border, a observation platform, and memorial site that provide insight into the conflict that shaped the peninsula modern history. These plays do not only focus on materiality, tensions, but also in remembrance, encouraging reflection on the cause of the division and the long-standing hope for peace and reunification. Despite its heavy historical significance, the DMZ is not defined solely by conflict. It has also become the place that reflection, where visitors confronted with complexity of history, politics, and human consequence. The quietness of the landscape contrasts sharply with the past, creating an atmosphere that both peaceful and unsettling at the same time. Nature plays a powerful role in the shaping identity of the DMZ today. The absence of the development has allowed ecosystem to thrive in ways that would not be possible in the most other part of the peninsula. Migratory birds pass through the wetland. Deer move freely across the forest, and the plant life grows without interruption. This indigenous preserve has turned DMZ into one of the most unique ecological corridors in East Asia. At the same time, the presence of military infrastructure serves as a contrast reminder that this piece of fragile and heavily controlled. Watchtower, fence, and warning signs remain visible throughout the region, reinforcing the reality that the DMZ is still an active border zone rather than resolved boundary. The emotional impact of the visiting DMZ is difficult to describe in simple terms. It is not only about seeing a physical separation, but also about understanding a deeper historical and human divide that continues to shape the Korean peninsula. It represents both aftermath and the conflict and the possibility of a reconciliation held in single, narrow stretch of lands. It is a place where history has passed, where nature has returned, and where future remain uncertain, yet still open the no hope. Andong, a city in South Korea widely known as one of the strongest guardians of traditional Korean culture. Unlike the fast-paced modern city that define much of the country today, Andong preserved a slower, more grounded way of life, one deeply connected to history, Confucian value, and the Asian heritage. At the heart of this cultural identity lies her whole folk village. One of the most famous tradition villages in Korea is and a designed UNESCO World Heritage Site, nestled along a bend of the Nako River and surrounded by gentle hill. How her village appears almost untouched by time. Its layout, architecture, and atmosphere here have been preserved for centuries, offering a rare glimpse into Korean past before the modernization reshaped the nation. The village is filled with Hankook, traditional Korean house built with the golden frames, tighter roof, and a carefully designed country house. This home reflects not only architectural building, but it also a deep respect for a harmony between human and nature. Many of structure and townhome village still functions as a private residence, meaning that daily life continues within a hostical setting. Smoke rising from traditional kitchen, stone pathway worn by generation, and quiet country yard all contribute to the feeling that time moves differently here. Andong is also deeply associated with Confucian tradition, which have played a major role in shaping Korean society for centuries. Influences is visible and ancestral ritual, educational value, and a society custom that emphasizes respect, hierarchy, and the family heritage. Confucian academies, known as a civil still be found in the region, standing as a reminder of the Korean intellectual and philosophical history. One of the most iconic cultural expressions in Andong is its traditional masked dance, known as the higher budget tannery. This performance combines music, storytelling, and satire, with performers wearing oppressive gilded masks that represent different characters from society. They also carry a deeper meaning, often reflecting society commentary and human emotion. Even today, this performance continues during the festival and cultural event, preserving an art form that has been passed down for generations. Beyond the village and performance, Andong landscape contribute to unique atmosphere. The city is surrounded by river, farmland, and forest hills that create a calm and balanced environment. Unlike any industrial or highly urbanization region, Andong feels closely tied to nature. Seasonal change shaped by appearance and survival but meaningful way. Cherry blossom in spring, lush green field in summer, golden harvest tune in autumn, and quiet, frost-covered Scenic in winter. Life in Andong moves at notably slower rhythm. Streets are quieter, community feel more closely connected, and tradition remain an active part of daily life rather than historical display. Festival rites and cultural ceremony are not just performance for visitors. They are like living a practice that continue to shape the identity and community bonds. Visitors to Andong often describe the experience as stepping into a different era. It is not simply about appreciation, historical building or cultural artifact, but about feeling the presence of the way that life has endured for centuries and remarkable continuity. The silence of village, the simplicity of the architecture, and the rhythm of the daily routine are all contribute to sense of the timelessness. Andong stands as a cultural anchor within modern South Korea. It is a place where part is not preserved behind glass or wooden museum, but still lived, practices, and passed on through generations, quietly resisting the wrath of the modern changes while maintaining the essence of Korea tradition. Part 8. Structure and Seduction. One of the most breathtaking natural landscapes in South Korea. Seduction is a place where nature reveals its most dramatic and untouched form. Located in northeastern part of the country, the park is known for the jagged mountain peak, deep valley, dense forest, and strategic rock formation that rise sharply from the earth. It is landscape shaped over millions of years, where wind, water, and time have carved a terrain that feels both powerful and serious. From the moment you enter the seduction, the atmosphere changes completely. The noise of urban life fades away, replaced by the sound and rustling leaf, flowing the stream, and distant bird call. Towering granite peaks dominate the skyline. Orthographic images drift and slowly through the valley. The mountain appear almost sculptured and architecture and layered cliff that create a sense of scale grandeur unlike many other regions in Korea. Seoul is especially famous for season transformation. In spring, the mountain come alive with fresh generate and blooming with wildflowers scattered along the trail. Summer brings dense forest and cold shade paths the forest reflect the heat. But it's autumn that truly defines Seoul's global reputation. During this season, the entire mountain ranges transform into a vast canvas of red, orange, and gold. The foliage spread across the slope like fire-colored wave, attracting visitors from all over the world. Hiking trail become journey through a living painting, where every turn reveals new layer of color light. Winter brings yet another transformation. Snow cover the peak, trees become white and sound hot, and waterfalls freeze into delicate ice formation. The landscape become quiet and minimalistic, facing and the raw structure of the mountain itself. Each region shaped the selection completely, it making destinations that never look like the same twice within the park. There are also significant cultural and spiritual sites, blending Buddhist architecture with nature surrounding. Stone pagodas, golden hall, and meditation space sit quietly beneath towering peak, reflecting a long-standing relationship between Korea's spirituality and nature. These temples are not isolated monuments, but living places of worship that continue to use it by monks and visitors seeking peace reflection. Just outside the nation park lies the coastal city of Seoul. Unlike the rugged interest of Seoul, Seoul offers open view of the East Sea and a calmer, more relaxed atmosphere. The city serves as a gateway between mountain and the ocean, where visitors can experience both landscape within a short distance. Fishing harbor, coastal road, and quiet beaches define Seoul's identity, creating a strong contrast with the dramatic peak Jeju Island. Seoul is also known for seafood culture, influenced by its proximity to the sea. Fresh fish market, coastal restaurant, and simple seaside eateries reflect a lifestyle closely connected to the ocean. Early morning begin with the fishing boat returning to the shore, with evening brings soft sea breezes and reflection of the city lights across the water. Together, Seoul and Seoul form a unique nature combination, mountain and sea existing side by side. One represents height, strength, and stillness. The other represents openness, flow, and the horizon. The contrast creates one of the most visually and emotionally rich regions in South Korea. Seoul is not just a mountain range, a constantly changing masterpiece of nature, while Seoul is gentle coastal counterpart, together forming a landscape where earth and sea meet in the perfect balance. Part 9. Nami Island. A small half-moon-shaped island located in Han River, Nami Island has become one of the South Korea's most iconic scenic destinations. Despite its modern size, it carries a global reputation for romantic landscape, seasoned beauty, and cinematic atmosphere that attract both local and international visitors through the year. From the moment you arrive by ferry, Nami Island feels different from the mainland. The noise of the city face behind the water, replaced by the gentle sound of wind, trees, and a flowing river current. The journey itself becomes part of the experience, the sort of the both right creature and sense of separation from everyday life. It feels like entering a quieter, slower world where nature set the rhythm. From the moment you buy the ferry, one of the most recognized features in Nami Island is tree-lined pathway. Tall mesquite and ginkgo trees stretch along long, straight road that cut through the island. These paths summer on golden corridor and autumn and spring. Fresh leaf brings soft wind tune and that feel alive and refreshing. In summer, dense flowers provide shade and a rich sense of calm. In autumn, the entire island transforms into warm shade of yellow, orange, and red. And winter, snow blanket trees turning landscape into a silent white world. Winter is perhaps the most famous season of the Nami Island. Snow-covered path, frozen lakeside edge, and the quiet forest create a cinematic atmosphere that feels almost unreal. The stillness of the islands during this time enchants its emotional impact, making it feel a sense from the feel. It is no coincidence that Nami Island gained international recognition after being featured in popular Korean drama, where its snowy landscape becomes symbol and romance and nostalgia. Beyond its visual appeal, Nami Island is also offer a peaceful environment for walking, cycling, and quiet reflection. There are no heavy traffic system or overwhelming urban structure. Instead, visitors move frequently along an open path, often by bicycle or on the foot, allowing them to fully absorb the natural surrounding. The absence of the noise and crush create a rare sense of mental space, where time feels lower and more international, where islands also feature small cultural space, art installation, and simple recreation area that blend into the nature environment. Sculpture of places among trees, open lawn house seasonal event, and the riser benches provide quiet spots for observation. Rather than dominating the landscape, these elements are integrated subtly, enchanting the island harmony between nature and humanity creativity. Wildlife is also part of the Nami Island charm. Birds, squirrels, and other small animals move freely across the islands, often unbothered by human presence. The coexistence between visitor and nature add a feeling that the Nami Islands just share the space rather than control the tourist site. It is reinforced the idea that Nami Island is not just a destination, but an ecosystem of calm interaction. The surrounding river play an important role in the shaping island's atmosphere. The Han River flows steadily around it. Reflection, seasonal color, and skies change through the day. In the early morning, mist often rise above the water, giving an island's dreamlike appearance. At the sunset, gold light spread across the surface, casting long reflection and the edges of the island's natural beauty. Despite its peaceful nature, Nami Island is also cultural significance. It represents a modern application for the nature preservation and slow tourism in South Korea. Rather than focusing on large-scale development, the island emphasizes balance between accessibility and preservation, between human presence and the natural space. This philosophy has helped it remain one of the most beloved destinations in the country. Visitors often describe Nami Island as a place that feels emotionally different from other tourist attractions. It is not just about sightseeing, but about experiencing a certain mood, calm, reflective, and slightly nostalgic. The island encourages people to slow down, observe, and reconnect a simple nature beauty. In many ways, Nami Island is more than just a scenic location. It is a living canvas of season change, a quiet retreat in the middle of the flowing river, and a symbol of how nature and human experience can exist in harmony. A place where every part of the tell the different story depending on time of the year, and where the silence itself became part of the journey. Part 10. Jeonju, a city widely recognized as the birthplace in bibimbap and one of the best preserved traditional cultural centers in South Korea. While many Korean cities has rapidly modernized into a dense urban landscape, and Jeju has carefully maintained its historic identity, offering a visitor a rare opportunity to experience the atmosphere of old Korea in a living, breathing environment. At the heart of Jeonju lies the famous Jeonju Hanok village, one of the largest traditional Hanok closets in the country, with hundreds of gilded Hanok houses arranged along the narrow street gentle slope. Walking through the Hanok village, the peace of them immediately feel different. Instead of traffic skyscraper, there are quiet footsteps on stone paths, the sound of golden door opening, and the soft rustle of wind passing through the courtyard. Visitors often wear traditional hanbok while exploring the street, adding to the visual sense of stepping into another era. The combination of architecture, culture, and atmosphere creating a strong feeling of cultural immersion that is both vital in emotion. Jeonju is also deeply connected to Korean cuisine. Most family bibimbap, the iconic dish, consisting of rice mixed with other vegetable, meat, egg, and chili paste, is believed to organization in this region. However, in Jeonju, bibimbap is more than just a dish. It represents a philosophy of balance, color, and harmony in food. versions are known for their rich variety of fresh ingredients and careful presentation, reflecting the city's long-standing culinary tradition. Beyond bibimbap, Jeju is also famous for traditional famous food, rice wine, and street food that blend historical recipes with modern tastes. Food culture in Jeju is not limited to restaurants. It is part of the everyday life and cultural identity. Markets, malls, eateries, and family-run kitchens preserve the recipes that have been passed down through the generation. The city is often considered on top of the food destination in Korea, where culinary heritage is treated with the same respect as historical architecture. Beyond the food and architecture, Jeju is also center for traditional Korean art and craft. The city is known for preserving practices such as hanji paper making, traditional calligraphy, pottery, and music workshop, and cultural center is allow visitors to observe and even practice but say, not display as a static medium piece but are actively practicing an artisan who continue to define a path for their skill. Religious and historical landmarks also contribute to Jeju cultural depth. Confection Academy and the Shrine reflects and city historical role as a center of learning and philosophy, gathering designed to encourage the reflection and respect for knowledge. They highlight the architecture and more tradition that have shaped Korean society for centuries. Despite its strong historical identity, Jeonju is not frozen in the past. The city blends the tradition with the subtle modern influences, creating a balanced coexistence rather than a sharp contrast. Coffee house inside the 100 buildings serve complementary ring while preserving traditional architecture. Boutique Girls House combine modern comfort with historical aesthetic. Cultural festival introduction contemporary art and a performance within a traditional setting, showing how heritage can evolve without being lost. Jeonju is also known for its festival, which celebrated both tradition and creativity. Events such as the Jeonju International Film Festival attract global attention, bringing contemporary storytelling to city deeply rooted in heritage. At the same time, traditional cultural festivals showcase music, dance, and rituals that have been preserved for centuries. This blend of old and new reflects the city's unique identity embraced between history and modern expression. Jeonju is more than a historical city. It is a living cultural landscape where architecture, food, and daily life come together in harmony. A place where the essence of old Korea is not preserving behind the barriers, but continue to breathe in the through the street of its people and enduring way of life. South Korea is defined by contrast, where different era and landscape of way life coexist with a single journey. It is a place where ancient kingdom and stand alongside future cities, where the century old tradition live in a cutting edge technology, and it's the mountain, ocean, and the neon skyline all belong to the same national identity. Every region reveals a different phase of the country, yet are deeply connected by a shared history culture. From the towering skyline of Seoul, volcanic landscape of Jeju Island, from the coastal energy of Busan to quiet historical atmosphere in Jeonju. Each destination tells its own story. Some break of rapid modernization and global influences, while others preserve the silence of the ancient civilization and tradition way of life. Together, they form a complete picture of the nation that has experienced both struggle and transformation. South Korea's identity has been shaped by wrestling, culture depth, and continuous change. It is a country that has rebuilt itself many times through the history, adapting to new era while holding firmly onto the road. But this balance between the preservation and innovation visible anywhere, and architecture causing technology and daily life. South Korea is not defined solely in the past, nor only by its future. Its true excellence lies in a connected between both.